welcome to On the Anvil, episode 62. Bit of a weird episode today. Nate is out of town, and instead of being dark several weeks in a row, we decided to use this as an opportunity to do a bit of a different kind of episode. So I've got the rest of the people from the video team here with me. We have Casey over there, and then Ray over there. My hands aren't going to line up with their positioning.
This one's Ray.
That one's Ray.
This one up here is Casey.
There we go.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I could have done. I could have gone like, all right, we've got Casey here. Ray here. That's what I should have done.
We're learning.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to... I think this is the first time... Casey's been on some streams like a while ago. Ray hasn't been on one, so we're going to get to know them a little bit, and then we're going to talk about... kind of what you're seeing right here is this is the video team behind the production of stuff at Dwarven Forge, and so we want to talk about what kind of stuff would be helpful for you guys to see. We want to run some ideas by you. We want to see how you felt about content in the past, things that could be improved, all that jazz. So we're going to do a bit of that tonight, but first let's hit the news. Did either of you watch On the Anvil?
Yeah, every episode. Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Religiously.
How about you, Casey?
Yes.
All right.
A lot of Wildlands.
All right,
yeah.
then you know what to do when this goes up.
Oh.
It's the news time. Yeah.
Absolutely exposed. Absolutely. You've never watched. We've been putting this show on almost every week for over a year.
Is this where we get fired?
Wow, this is an intervention.
Unbelievable. All right.
We put a new spin on it. A news spin.
Ooh.
You're not Nate.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
you're not Nate.
I liked it.
Yay,
All right.
thank you.
None of Craig is shouting that it was entrapment, which it kind of was,
It's
but
against the
maybe,
law.
but
Can't do
maybe
that.
you shouldn't have had yourself in a position to get trapped. All right, so just a little bit of news today. If you haven't heard yet, we've said it on the Discord or the forums. That restock that we've been trying to get on a ship for 2 weeks, we have on a ship.
Woo!
It is.
Yay.
We not only that. That restock was waiting for so long that the next restock is also on the same ship. So we have 2 restocks coming at once. It's going to be a very big restock. And the exciting thing about that, in Wildlands is not on the...
I wish.
Don't name drop.
Although production is going well with Wildlands. We're over halfway on approving the painted masters, I believe, or the painted shots, I believe.
Great.
Yay.
Like we're moving very quickly on that. So I think we're still on track to. I think the last update said that we were planning on having the first wave like done with production around the end of the month, and I think we're still on track for that. Don't take my word for it, but when I talked about it a couple days ago, it was like things are still going smoothly. So assuming that it doesn't take 2 months to get it on a ship, we might actually have that stuff on the water fairly soon.
I'm itching for it.
Yay.
Other exciting thing about that restock, the second wave of stuff that got on that boat, the second restock, is the restock with the new configurations in it. So if you remember, months ago, we did an episode where we went over like the new configurations and everything, and so we're talking about like some new city core sets. We're talking about an Aranthor scatter pack. We're talking about a small watchtower pack from castles that's like good for wargaming and also just like picking stuff up. That stuff's on the way. And so that's really exciting, and we will let you know. We're estimating that will land in early October. Right now, we'll let you know if anything happens to get in the way of that.
The boat gets stuck in the Suez Canal.
Please no.
Dude, did you see?
Stop.
Did you see
It's
that
more
thing?
likely than you think.
A couple days ago, the same ship was going through the Suez Canal again, and everybody's just like, dude, come on,
Do it.
like do
For
it.
the meme.
It'd be the funniest thing anybody's ever done.
It's like, yo, watch me cost the world trillions, but for the joke, let's do it. Like, I don't know. It'd take every ounce of restraint in my body not to.
If I was doing it, like, I almost feel like I would end up doing it just because I was trying so hard not to. Like I would overcompensate. What else is going on with that? Right. If you want to see which stuff is coming, if you go to the website, if you go to dwarvenforge.com, on the top bar there will be a tab labeled Restock. If you click on that, it will show you the whole restock list. Sometimes people don't know that is a thing that exists, but we always have like information on the next couple of restocks is up there. And basically everything in the late summer and early fall categories on that list is on this restock ship and will be here in early October. The late fall and winter restocks are not on this ship and will be coming on future ships. Yeah, so that's all that. Second bit of news, the Ennies are out, and we weren't nominated this year, which we'll forgive them.
It was to make it fair to the rest of the competition. I understand.
Just
like,
yeah. But it's fine. Jay bought everybody participation trophies.
Yay!
So we handed those out, those little plastic. One of the festivals that my short film went to, we won best screenplay or whatever. But all the awards were like that scale, just like the small like plastic trophies that you would get in like your like 8-year-old soccer like leagues. And it's
really cute.
It's the heart that matters, not the size of the
and it's the funniest thing to me because it's not even, they didn't even like put the name of the movie or even what the category was. There was no information on it. It was just a generic trophy.
Nothing.
With no information on it.
You showed up.
It's like,
yeah.
you did it! Yeah!
It was very funny. What are the quantities? I'll get to that in a second. So our friends that are we have 3 friends that I'm aware of. There might be more that I am not aware we know. Our friends at Steamforged, if you remember, Russ is one of their sculptors, and he sculpted, he did the design. No, he digitally sculpted Vancouver the Shadow Dragon in Wildlands. His company, Steamforged, is nominated for Best Adventure for their Halls of the Orc King. I don't know what the term for it is. They do this thing called Epic Encounters. Is it a module? Is each one a module? I don't know. But they're up for that. Underground Oracle, who if you saw are the list of people who are doing written content for Wildlands, Underground Oracle is writing one of our adventures for that, and they're in the running for the Fan Award for Best Publisher. And then our friends at Asians Represent are up for Best Podcast, which is great and really well deserved. They put a lot of work into that podcast. They do really interesting content. So all 3 of them are up. Congratulations to them. We're really happy to see people that we know that work really hard and are passionate about this art form getting the recognition that they deserve. Yeah. Let's see. Let me address quantities on the restock. So I've seen a couple people say that they're worried about not being able to get some of the stuff that's coming because they're like, oh, it'll sell out in a couple minutes. When that has happened before, it's usually because we freed up like some reserve stock, and we didn't really do like a restock so much as every time we have sets come in, we have the warehouse hold on to some in case we need to do replacements, in case there's a quality control issue, and that sort of thing. And so after the factory's had that, or after the warehouse has had them for a while, and it's like, okay, I don't think we're actually going to get any like replacements coming in for this, we'll then free up like 10 or so of those sets that they were holding on to and sell those. So those always go really fast. None of the stuff on this restock list is in that kind of situation. When we do restocks, we have to deal with minimum order quantities. So if we don't order in fairly large volumes, it's simply not cost effective for us to restock. So all this stuff coming in is going to have like a lot. I think we usually shoot for around 500 of a set, generally speaking.
Cool.
And that'll be split between painted and unpainted sometimes. But the new configurations in particular, the goal for those configurations is for them to be like the Caverns Core stuff that we did a couple months ago, where the point of them is for them to be kind of always in stock bread and butter sets that are always like a good viable starting option, or also just a good way to like expand your collection.
True.
So don't worry like about any of the new stuff coming in like being hard to get. The goal is that they are not supposed to be. So yeah, we'll keep you updated when it happens though. We'll make sure everybody knows when the restock is dropping, as soon as we know when it's dropping. And the last bit of news, we're not going to be doing On the Anvil next week. Next Wednesday is there's been an issue on the platform with a lot of kind of hate raids, bot raids of some pretty rough stuff happening to a lot of marginalized creators, a lot of which are people that we are personally friends with. And so as part of trying to get Twitch to pay attention to it, a lot of people are going dark next Wednesday, and we're going to be joining with that. So we won't be streaming on the Anvil next week, but we will be back the week after that, and I don't think we have any other... We should be... The last couple weeks have been, like, I was gone all three of us were gone last week, and then Nate's gone this week, but I don't think we have any other, like, going dark dates after that, so we should be consistent again after that.
Just some minor turbulence on the flight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
So, yeah. Oh, Kodiak's here. Hey, Kodiak. Hope you're doing well.
Hello.
Let's see. All right. That should be all the news. Let's get into let's meet the video team.
Meet
Oh
people.
my gosh.
Yeah, meet the video team. And then I'm going to be paying more attention to chat now that I'm not reading off that list of stuff. So I'm sorry if I missed any important if I missed anything important, let me know again in chat. I'll be watching that again. It's a little bit harder to watch chat while I'm also being Nate.
Multitasking is hard.
Yeah. I'm usually pretty good at it. But I think it's that I'm multitasking a
Put him to the
more times
test.
than usual. Here we go. All right. Okay, Casey.
Oh,
Who are
I
you?
was gonna say.
Would you rather Ray goes
first?
first?
Yeah, Ray, you go first.
Ah, shit.
Okay, Ray.
Howdy,
How's it
folks. I'm doing pretty good. I'm Ray. I am one of the three of the video Triforce here. I like long walks on the beach, and I'm a Gemini. What else do I say? What else should I say?
I think that was all the important stuff, honestly.
Oh, great. Perfect.
Well, so what's your moon and what's your rising?
Ooh, I used to know this really well.
You have Gemini in your chart twice, I'm pretty sure, because you told me that before.
No, I only have it once.
This is
I
exactly
thought you were a
the
double
thing.
Gemini.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know any of my Star Chart information. I've been told it multiple times. I always forget it. I have several friends who know all of my Star Chart stuff. I don't know.
I thought you said Star Trek stuff.
I know Capricorn because that's what was on the Chinese menus when I was a kid.
Okay.
And so
So that was, you were aware of that one.
Or no, that's not Chinese menus. That was Year of the Monkey. That's how I know it was Year of the Monkey. I knew that because that was on the menus when we needed a Chinese restaurant. Capricorn, I just know because it's in a lot of stuff. But
yeah.
yeah. So you've been here for around a year, a little over a year?
Just over a year. I just hit my anniversary July 7th, so a year and a month basically. I hopped on right at the start of the Wildlands big push, essentially. We were getting ready for that, and that was a lot of fun. And it's cool. I'm usually behind the scenes a lot, so I don't really appear in this public fashion. So it's nice to say hi to everybody. Yeah.
Was Ray responsible for all the awesome Wildlands videos? A good portion of them.
Yeah. I'd say at least half.
He's been editing he's been editing all the builds of the month since Wildlands. Most of the did you cut the 60-second videos after Wildlands too?
Yes, I think you did one of them, but I cut all of them. So
I think I did one of the Wildlands 60-second videos,
mm-hmm.
but I think after Wildlands you've cut all the 60 seconds.
Yes. So that was pretty cool. All the build months, all the 60 seconds. The announcement video for Wildlands was my first thing that I did here, which was pretty fun. What else did I do? I think that's really all of them. So it's yay.
Yay.
That's me. Anything else you'd like to know about?
Somebody's IME wants to know favorite movies and what do you want to be when you grow up?
Ooh, these are good questions. Now the problem with the favorite movie one is that I went to film school, so I have 100 answers. But I'm going to say
it's just the AFI list of top 100 movies.
Basically,
it's just that in order.
But I like musicals a lot, so I'm going to say my favorite on the top is just the Muppet movie, the one that came out 5 years ago.
I was not expecting that, but I respect
So
it.
good.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
When we were saying musicals, I was like, racking my head. I was like, okay, what are all the classic musicals people? But no, yeah, the Muppet movies.
The Muppet movie.
Some good contemporary stuff. And as for what I want to be when I grow up, when I was 5, I specifically wanted to be a fire truck. Not the firefighter. I want to be a truck. Okay. And I think I can still make that happen.
I have to know. I have to know.
That's awesome.
Were you like super into Transformers or something? Were you into something where it was like a sentient?
No, that's
vehicle?
the weird part. I was super into like dinosaurs in space, but like specifically, it's like, oh, it'd be so cool to be a fire truck. I just think, you know, they got the lights, they got the hose and the ladder, and like, you know, they're just a cool thing.
They're loud, yeah.
They are. Everyone clears
Very
way
demanding.
for a fire truck. You know?
Hoppy Hippo says he knows a wizard who can maybe make that happen. A couple
Be in
people. Vertex and Adrew Hart. Man, that's a hard name to say. The 116th. I'll just go with. Want to know your gaming preferences? Favorite RPG, video game, tabletop game, sandwich. I guess sandwich isn't really a gaming thing.
Okay, I'm probably going to ask to refer back to that list as I'm answering them.
Yeah, I think I'll remember it.
Okay, so favorite RPG, right off the bat, I'm stuck somewhere between Pathfinder 2e and Savage Worlds, which does not get enough love. It's a much quieter group of people. But those are probably my top 2 in terms of tabletop. In terms of like video game RPGs, the one that started my love for fantasy was Skyrim, because I was like in middle school when that came out, and that was a blast. What was the other one?
Sandwich.
Oh, yes. I love a turkey bacon club. That, delicious. Fantastic. If you get a little bit of avocado on that, a little bit of mayo, I'm set. That's
Turkey Bacon Club.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very specific.
Classic.
Hair care tips. Ray's flow is excellent.
Oh, why thank you. I started growing this at the exact start of the pandemic. I decided not to get a haircut until everything was done, and here we are now. It's been about yeah.
So you've only done this
Still
during the time. I've only known you with longer hair.
Precise. No, ever before this, I only had like buzz cuts or like fades, like really tight fades. Always. This is very new, actually. Which is why sometimes like when I first looked at myself on camera, I was like, "Whoa, my hair's like long."
Yeah, that's so weird. I can't imagine you like that. So much of how I identify people is by their haircut. So like when people like drastically change their hair,
it's like
it messes with me a bit. I'm having a really hard time imagining you with short hair.
It's weird, right?
That's wild.
I'll show you later. But anyway, hair care tips. Don't shampoo every day. That's a big one. Avoid sulfates in your shampoo if you can. It's
this is legitimate.
Oh yeah, I gotta stay on it.
We're a beauty channel now.
Avoid sulfates. If you have curly hair like me, condition constantly. And the best thing to do is get a leave-in conditioner. Don't run your fingers through your hair when you do it, but like kind of overall mold the hair to a shape. And as you're drying, kind of fluff it to give it some volume, and then you're done. And that's how you do this.
Aw.
It's beautiful.
Fun fact for you.
Okay. Happy Hippo says you were in middle school when Skyrim came out. What grade were you in for each re-release? Every grade. I think you're the youngest one.
I am.
Yeah.
I am 23. If y'all want a specific number, do the math on that. I think it was like 7th or 8th grade when Skyrim dropped.
Skyrim's been
right?
out 15 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's the... oh, no, 10 you mean. Skyrim did, yeah, it's the 10th anniversary.
Only 10 years?
Yeah, 11.
It's only been 10 years.
Yeah, it was 2011 when it came out, right?
Yeah, I remember because it was...
Wait,
that was all my
super-
Thanksgiving.
That came
Yeah.
out after I graduated high school?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why does it feel like a high school? I played Oblivion in high school. That's why. Okay, never mind.
There you go.
Yeah.
Full track.
Totally tracks.
Oh man,
But-
you're a baby. Okay. Let's see. I think that's.
Yeah. I'm loving the Q&A.
Just from the Dwarven Forge channel. This is awesome.
Wait, I didn't hear that. What was it?
It's like,
So, Rabbit says some of us are beyond beauty tips.
just transcending.
Okay. All right, Casey. I'm sorry.
It's
There
my
you go.
turn.
Thanks for having me.
Will it help to have Hazel?
Oh,
Hazel's-
I'll bring Hazel over in a second when I need a distraction. But I'm Casey. I probably talked to like a few of you. I know you.
She's been saying, she's like, oh, it's Casey.
Yeah, hey. I'm on customer service and I'm transitioning away from being on customer service, getting more into film. So that has been a bit of a process. Sorry if I don't respond to tickets as quickly. We're getting like pulled all over the place for the upcoming Kickstarter. But it's been really awesome being on the video team more. I've been doing a lot of the lighting for our sets so far, and then once we pick up with the next Kickstarter, it's going to be like all lights. I love to just stare at them and go blind, so it's awesome. And like, what else for video stuff? Oh, we've been getting a lot of footage for certain things that will be really cool once the Kickstarter comes around. So
I was gonna say we gotta be careful. We can't reveal.
Yeah, it's like
yet.
there it goes.
Yeah.
But
Can't break the illusion.
Yeah, we can't say anything about the modular ships Kickstarter.
Oh darn it! That was right there. All the footage that we
water
got.
tiles. No.
Darn.
Oh.
But, and then Hazel, if she wants, she's sleeping right now, but she's in the office all the time. She's my dog. She's very comfortable. I don't want to disturb her, but she'll probably hop up here at some point. She's been on some Wildland streams. When we broke when we broke 4 million, I brought her up and lifted her that time. So
I would point my camera to Hazel, but I'm afraid of ruining it, so I'm just gonna hopefully she'll wake up.
Let's not do that right now. She's like, she almost never sleeps like that. Like she always like curls up in like a tight like donut when she's like laying in the office. But here she's just like
fully splayed out.
She's just dropped. What kind of doggy?
Hazel is a mix of a bunch. She looks like an English Springer Spaniel, but she's Golden Retriever, Lab, and Boston Terrier, strangely enough. And
Really?
I am crazy, and I got her a DNA test, so that's how I know that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
23andMe. Well, I guess it's like 5andMe in dog years.
Yeah.
Jade Kind says going blind to link video work difficult. Amy says, I adore Casey. She puts up with my nuttiness. Thank you. Talorian says, thanks, Casey. Lots of stuff fixed by you for me. Jeffrey says, Dwarven Forge customer service is excellent. You're doing great work.
Thank you. You're like feeding my ego, guys. Thanks.
There's someone else who said, McGreg, says, Casey, help me with one of my support emails. Hi, Casey. Thanks for being helpful and shipping me some glue as well.
Yay. I got your guys' back.
Nerdbotchery is saying that you remind him of Amy Winehouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like Amy Winehouse. She's awesome.
Chuck is wondering, he says, what's the tattoo story?
Oh,
which I feel like there's several stories.
I've got a lot.
Yeah.
That's like its own stream, basically.
Yeah. I don't know. This, which one? Like this is some raven, and I just got a bunch of things. Mostly, I don't plan it. A lot of them don't really have any meaning. I just like to cover my skin and tattoos. I've done a couple myself that are pretty cool, but yeah, those are my.
You just mean like designing it, right? Not like actually.
No, I do stick and pokes. I did these like the smaller ones. Yeah.
Oh God,
it's pretty sick. It's like in
and my finger ones too. So yeah.
Okay.
It's fun. I don't know. Like
I have a friend that does that too. No,
Yeah.
it's really neat, honestly.
I'm just not a
needles
needle
guy?
person. Yeah, no.
Yeah, he can't handle that. He can't.
God.
it's very like I do a lot of pen work, so I think it's relaxing to like be focused on doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I give my friends them.
Everybody just wanted to see the tattoos in more detail.
Oh,
Wanted to see the wolf better.
Oh
Wanted
yeah.
to see the ones that you did yourself.
Boop, boop. I designed that one, but I didn't.
Really?
Obviously, I didn't do that, but
That's awesome.
no, just this one that I designed.
And then there's a little.
And then these little, I feel like it's gonna be blown out.
It's kind of hard to read.
Yeah,
on
it's
It's like pliers and like a butcher knife.
Yeah.
They're pretty sick.
Yeah. I think these ones got me the job here, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
So, like, the two battle axes. Like, yeah.
Do battle with our beloved customers.
Let's see. I want one from you. What are the odds you'll do tattoo commissions?
I'm not
That's a
that
stretch
good.
goal, like
I'm definitely not good enough to do that.
if we hit 1 billion, Casey will personally tattoo you.
Every single customer.
Every
I don't
single
think so.
Oh my
It's a
God.
fun hobby that I want to keep a fun hobby.
That's valid.
Yeah.
That's so valid.
All right. I think Casey tattoo booth at the next convention. That's like next thing we go into. That's like some of the merch we do is
Just handmade
just
tattoos.
tattoos. Whew.
Vertex says breaking 4 million was an amazing moment.
Yeah, that's
because you were there for that stream.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite, because we were talking about our favorite moments with Wildlands recently, and being on stream with everyone for that in particular was just such a whirlwind of emotions, and it was so great to be a part of that, and everybody just getting excited all at once. It was, I definitely a favorite Wildland moment there.
Especially just like as a closer to what that year had been.
Yeah.
Like, because we basically lost the office environment for a long time. Because we went full remote, and then with Wildlands we started getting back in the office again. It was just nice being around people again, but it was still, there weren't a ton of us at any given time. There was like maybe 4 or 5 of us at any given moment. But then just having the actual having the final stream and like everybody who had been there kind of show up for it was and just having that release was really nice.
Yeah, all the energy was so nice to be around, just like super positive, especially after being in like such a space where you're like, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, it was great.
My biggest regret was that I wasn't there for the stream, because it was casual mention like, hey, you should come to the stream. It's like end of the Kickstarter, and it's like, I'm good. My dad ordered like a pizza. I think and that pizza was not worth missing 4 million.
We had pizza here, I'm pretty sure too. So,
that's the worst part.
Yeah.
I think I must have just been shy, because I don't think I'd met 90% of the team. It was just like me, Nate, and like that was basically it. Like I just only knew like video folks, and it was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
So,
I think I barely talked to you, and we were like both editing.
Yeah, that was super weird too. It's like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what's going on, but it's easier now that we're like in office more, so that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a fun question to answer before we move on to the main topic. Why did you want to be with Dwarven Forge?
Oh, me specifically.
I think for both of you, honestly.
All right, sure. Want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll take a break from talking.
For me, I wanted to be on Dwarven Forge mainly because it was like the tail end of college for me, and I had no clue what I was going to do. I was kind of getting pulled in a lot of different directions. It's like, grad school, or head back home and do this other job, or like it's like all these different directions. And I stumbled upon a Facebook post, basically. It was like a random like, hey, we need an editor. And I clicked it, and it took me to like this job posting for Dwarven Forge. And once I realized what it was, because it was like specifically advertised as like a Dungeons and Dragons type like tabletop RPG company, and I got so excited that like with my email I sent to apply for this job, I sent in like all of my campaign notes from like the game that I was running, with like all the maps that I like handmade and like all these little NPC things. And I was like, listen, I really like these games. This sounds like such a fun job. Can I have it, please? And they did say yes, but I was still in school, so I had to decline. And then 6 months later, I graduated, and I was like, hey, can I still please work here? And they're like, actually, yeah, come on in. And that was it. Here I am, because I really wanted it. So that's how I got here, and it's awesome.
Yay.
Yeah.
How about you, Casey? Actually, I'm curious because I wasn't here when you got hired, so
I'll show Hazel first because she got up from her nap.
Yes.
She does not like when I lift her up, but here she is. she goes like, we're probably squishing the mic, but she goes limp dog when I do this, like dead fish.
She's a very good office dog, though.
Yeah, she mostly sleeps. Okay, this is good.
I solemnly swear that Hazel is running like human software on dog hardware. Like it really feels like there's like a person in Hazel. I don't know how that works, but
we just take turns, like, throughout the week. We just switch, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with being a human today. You got to take over.
Yeah.
One person collectively. That's awesome.
So I got started why I wanted to work at Dwarven Forge. I was what is it? When Skyrim came out, I was not in middle school. I was a senior in high school. So I had a career before this in the military for 6 years. And if anybody is in the military or has been in the military, you know how regimented it is and strict and stuff like that. So I decided once my contract was up, I wanted to do something completely different, and that's what I did. I moved to Brooklyn, started pursuing film, and happened to find a Craigslist ad for Dwarven Forge. And when I first saw, the first ad I saw was for a video editor, but I didn't have the experience yet because it was all like self-taught sort of stuff. But then, luckily, like a month or so later, I saw another ad for it, just asking for like an office person. So I applied, and I thought it would be very appropriate if I sent in a picture of a drawing I made of all of my friends from my last campaign for my like D&D group. So it's like I played a lizard folk cleric, and he was like this lizard dad sort of dude. So he's like dressed in this robe thing, and then all of the rest of the characters are in there. And yeah, I sent that in with my resume, and I think it definitely really helped, actually. So that on top of, you know, all the other things that I did before working here definitely helped too.
I definitely think that this is the kind of place where, yeah, sending in something like that actually does help the application.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it shows that you're legitimate. Everybody here is like actually, you know, games and stuff and has a history with it. So, and we're all nerdy and we're passionate, very passionate about this kind of stuff. So seeing, you know, little special touches like that, or something that's a little wacky, quirky, that it just shows that you fit in here. Like,
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's like, it's nice to know that you're with people who like love what they're doing. Basically, like that's the fun part.
Yeah.
You know.
Momo has been replaced. Momo has not been replaced. No.
They're incomparable. It's like can't pit these two glorious dogs against one another.
They actually get along pretty well, don't they?
Yeah.
Hazel really likes other dogs a lot.
Yeah.
And Momo's more of a people person.
Yeah.
But Hazel thinks that Momo and her get along really well, so that's good.
On her end, they're best friends.
Yeah,
On
exactly.
Momo's end, it's like, ugh, this one again.
Kind of finds him annoying. Vertex is wondering which branch of the military.
I was in the Navy. I was a Navy linguist.
That's so cool.
Nice. Ray. Jeffrey says that you remind him of Robbie Damon. Do you know who that is? He was on Exandria Unlimited.
Ooh.
The Critical Role side thing.
Here we go.
He also, I knew him because he voice acted Prompto in Final Fantasy 15. Which, like, he's saying he has the same energy, and, like, honestly, like, yeah, like, you would be Prompto. Like, if I'm being...
Interesting.
In the main cast of Final Fantasy 15, you would be Prompto.
Yo, Robbie Damon is sick. I'll take that. Thank you kindly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start taking fashion tips from him. He looks cool.
Let's see. Do you guys need anyone to design submarines by any chance? Fortunately, no.
I wish we did. Keep in touch.
Now JD Kind's wondering what my story is for how I got the job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Chris, what's your story?
So, before I worked here, we fed a couple of my friends into here. Through connection, like, Hamster wound up here because they were looking for painters, and we knew Selena, and so when she was like, we need painters, we were like, oh, huh. Like that was like the bridge there. So then Hamster wound up like applying, and he was the first one in our friend group that like found his way over here. And then Sauce, who helps shoot like Kickstarter videos when we do like higher production stuff, he had just moved to the city, and I had like just met him because he was Tyler's friend, and we just met him, and they were looking for somebody who could shoot. I think it was when they were looking for somebody to shoot stop motion. Actually, I'm not.
Deadliest Dungeon Design.
I can't remember if that's what it was, but I remember before I really knew anything about the company, they were looking for somebody who could help with shooting stuff. So they got him in there, and then when they started doing Build of the Month, I got brought on to edit that every month for a while, and then a couple months after that, Hellscape was happening, but. Hellscape was like a thing they had decided to do kind of last minute, or it got moved or something, and so Selena was on a vacation like for 3 weeks, like during when all the production and stuff would need to happen for Hellscape. So she asked me to come in and kind of cover for that. And so that was the first time I actually came into the office and met people and did like the Hellscape videos. And shot like all the stuff that's like in hell for the Hellscape video. I basically like came into the office and was like looking at all these like people who like I didn't know. Although Toby and I got along like pretty well right off the bat because I brought in my Switch, and so he saw that and we started talking about like Nintendo, and I think that was like the first like real connection. But then getting to know everybody and like everybody was like really friendly and it was nice. And I had been freelancing at the time for a couple of years, and I have like a lot of really bad horror stories of like freelancing for really bad people, like producing or editing for a project and just having the person like not pay or do some really messed up stuff, a lot of those things. And so then when I kind of did like a production gig here, and it was like, I like the people here. They're not hiding my money from me, and it's also like around like tabletop and stuff, which I really like. I just kind of like wanted to do work there. So they were like, I was like consistently doing like some projects here and there. And at the end of 2019, I told Nate, I went in and I told Nate, like while I was grabbing some footage to help with editing some stuff, I was like, look, I think that there's a market for, well, not a market, but I think there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with live streams. I think that a lot of people are like curious about the creative process behind this stuff, and nobody's really going over this kind of stuff, and it could be cool to show that. So we started, beginning of 2020, we started building up, me and Mason Hamster started kind of building up stream platform, figuring out like what the content was going to be. We got all these plans together, and then like a month and a half into us streaming, the pandemic hit, and we had to scrap like over half of our plans because they weren't things we could do. And like we're still holding on to a lot of them for when this thing is actually over and we can do some of this large scale live content with a bunch of people in the same room again. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was when I started like actually working here regularly, was like beginning of 2020. Starting with the streaming stuff and then just kind of like picking up other things along the way. Helping with video now and then. And then now I'm kind of more involved in video stuff, while still doing the streaming stuff. Although we're also trying to get, we're doing a lot of we're doing a lot of infrastructure changes, and we're trying to streamline things too. I want this channel to be less dependent on me, so we're kind of doing some stuff to set it up where, like for the hobby hang, for example. I want it to be a situation where Hamster really is able to take care of that by himself in case I need to be gone 1 week or something. Mm-hmm. So we're working on some of that kind of stuff, and then also like trying to figure out how to get some of these other ideas we had like off the ground while on limited capacity for having people indoors and all that. But yeah, that's how I got that job, was just like through random, and then also Tyler and Miles got here like through that. Starting with Hellscape, they started like doing some PA stuff because we needed extra hands for the shoot, and yeah, that's how I got started here. Good timing. That's the funny thing, right? Like it's kind of good timing and also really bad timing. It was bad timing in that like we had all these really cool ideas. I would tell you about them, but we still want to do them in the future.
It's the pie eating contest. Oh, I shouldn't have said. No. Oh, darn.
That could be fun.
Genuinely, let's write that down.
What kind of pie?
But also at the same time, like I don't know, if I didn't have a regular job that I could keep doing here through the pandemic, I don't know what I was gonna do, because like all the freelancing stuff basically disappeared.
Yup.
So yeah. But yeah.
I would demolish
pecan
pie right now.
Guess that's basically it. So talking about the initiative stuff that's going on. We want to talk about what we've been thinking video-wise, and also figure out what you guys would want. And this is kind of in two different categories. Both in Kickstarter-specific videos, kind of the plan of attack when it comes to putting out video content during Kickstarters, and informing and entertaining you guys. And then outside of Kickstarters, regular stuff on the channel, stuff to help you know about like the what's in the store and understand the sets. So for both people who have been here for a long time, people like the rabbit burners of the world, as well as some of the newer folk that were here maybe for Wildlands, or some people who joined us in the last couple months. I'm really curious. We're really curious to kind of hear all those different perspectives and figure out how to make sure that nobody winds up in a situation where they're trying to get into our stuff or trying to understand how all this stuff works, and they feel like it's inaccessible to them. We've been. It's kind of been like an initiative we started doing for like the last year and a half, really. It's part of like the core set reconfigurations and all that, is trying to actually make this stuff more accessible, because in all of our excitement for the Kickstarters, we sometimes forgot to make it function well for everybody who isn't there in the Kickstarters. So we wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
Another thing I also wanted to talk about is potentially doing content that isn't necessarily informational stuff about our pieces, and what you guys would think about that. Jeffrey says, Wildlands was my first intro to Dwarven Forge, and until I saw the build of the month, the website was way too confusing. What was it about the build of the month that made the website clearer? Was it that you were able to go to it and like just have the bundle there, or?
Also, glad you liked them.
The build of the months were really cool.
They're so fun. Oh
Yeah.
my god, they're like tough to put together because they're very involved, especially like towards the last couple that we did. But oh man, they're so fun, especially towards the end when we started getting some like audience participation in there. Like that was fun stuff to make.
I think what's so fun about them is when we get to do, like, they are informational videos, obviously. Like they're there to help sell the bundle and all that. But it's one of the only times that we get to do like fun edits that aren't all about the information. Like, there's stuff there that is, we're doing narrative stuff.
It's fun.
We're getting to do cinematic stuff with those videos.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I really hope we can do. I hope that we can have videos that people can just have fun watching and maybe learn a thing or two. I don't know.
Yeah. Jeffrey says, I could see the pieces in Nate's hand and had an idea of how the pieces actually fit together. Trying to figure it out through some of the scale pictures was tricky, and I felt a bit lost. Okay. So do you think, on the website... Oh! So did you not see any videos until you... Because this is the thing, is if you needed to see them in his hands, that would mean... Because there is stuff like that on the YouTube channel. Was it hard to find that information? Or... if we... Sorry, what was that?
I was just thinking about, because I'm on customer service, of course, so I'm just thinking about tickets that I've gotten about this kind of stuff in particular. There was one last month talking about how Build of the Month was helpful also, and I think it provides a very, here's a story that you can give for your campaigners, right off the bat, and I think that really helps too when you get overwhelmed with so many different sets and everything. So I think there is something that Nate kind of wanted to incorporate that with, in streams going forward in the future, but I'd have to circle back with him on that one and make sure I'm not misrepresenting.
True.
But Build of the Month is super helpful. I definitely agree. It's just it's a lot to do when we're going into Kickstarter season.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of making, it's because everybody loves the sample builds when you do those in Kickstarter, right? Like when the sample builds came out for Wildlands, for a lot of people they said that was when it that was what got them to spend more, or go for sets they weren't thinking about before. And I guess Build of the Month is kind of the video version of that. And also you just having that bundle that you can buy. Tellurian said something that I thought was interesting and kind of... Tellurian says... So I like this. This is something that we've actually been talking about. Tellurian says, I was under the mistaken impression you needed to spend multi-thousands of dollars to get any utility from the product, and that's just not true.
Nah.
I came into this company as a recently graduated broke college student. So I remember one of the first things I said was this looks super expensive. Is this possible for someone with $20 to get into And $20 is a pretty low amount, but it's definitely a push that I want to give to make sure that people know it's attainable. You know, it's totally possible.
In this new wave of videos that we're doing, so if you guys remember, God, it was like a month and a half ago, maybe a month ago. One of the On the Anvils that me and Nate did was we were kind of building some sample caverns builds with you guys, and it was for like video we were doing. We're working on a series of videos that is kind of it's meant to help people understand how the stuff works and like how to look at sets on the store and all that and how to put it together. And so and the goal of those videos is to be something that can be put on the main site. So like we want to do one for each main category. So like there's going to be a caverns one, a dungeons one, a cities one. And they'll have like the same kind of basic format, but they're going to be customized to, all three of those things kind of build differently. Dungeons and caverns kind of build similarly, but like cities is not going to function. You're not going to figure out your cities purchase the same way that you would figure out your caverns purchase or your dungeons purchase, because cities, those buildings require like a different philosophy, kind of. So we're working on those, and the goal with those is to show you a number of sample builds, basically, in kind of stuff that would make a good build of the month, generally speaking. They're around that price point. And kind of like walk you through it and help you understand like how that was put together, so that it can help you kind of look at builds and figure out, or help you look at sets and figure out like how to look at it, basically. I've been posting Dwarven Forge sample builds on one of the Facebook pages where I list the sets and costs, and I get dozens of DMs thinking I get a major discount because they didn't think Dwarven Forge was that affordable. That's the thing. Yeah, I think people look at like the mega pledges at a Kickstarter and they think that like that's what you need. We do a thing. Part of me really wanted to show you.
I know, because I keep thinking about, everything that we shot in regards to this, and there's like some truly incredible builds that are like, I took my own like personal pictures. I was like, oh, this looks so amazing, and they're very like cost effective, and like they just look incredible. So
there's several of those that I looked at and I was like, we should make this a bundle. Like we should, like if we had those as like landing things for new people to kind of like a way to buy in.
Agreed.
Yeah, because the only thing we had there that was more than $300, I think, was the castle, just because castles are expensive. Like
they're big.
So the castle example was, I think, around $500, just because like that's just what castles are. Another reason people may think it is more expensive is if they last looked at the price before Dwarvenite. That's true. Back when we were doing resin.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah. Part of it is because a lot of newcomers see full table layouts and there's no talk about building small scenes for games. Cool. I feel like we're definitely on the right path with that then, because we specifically have a section of the video where we're just like, we need to stress, you don't need to buy everything at once. You don't need to be able to build everything at once. And we have a thing where we walk through, like, let's say you start with a Mega Caverns core, and then we do like 3 builds that are like the Caverns core Mega with like 2 other packs. And, okay, here's another thing. Does it help to show prices? Because currently in the build, currently in this video, we're doing this like kind of quick change with this mega build, and we're saying like, if you add like a pack each time, and it's like, here's the total price of the build, but here's how much you're actually paying to make this build if you already have the mega cavern, like, and so it's like, it's basically less than 100 to like be able to do any of these builds if you already have the mega cavern. Need prices, or at least a price at the end. Okay. Pathways idea, like what things people could buy and then what could buy next to extend it. That's
we have that in the works as well, thankfully. With the general, like, just a video coming up on just getting started with Dwarven Forge.
It seems like people are wanting us to do the stuff that we're doing, which is making me
I'm glad.
very excited.
This is all this stuff we get a lot of questions about in customer service too, so especially like Pathfinder sort of deals.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah. Different modules and stuff like that already exist that we can build out with our things.
Like Lost Mines of Phandelver and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fully.
Yeah.
I totally agree. That's why I'm hoping we can make more YouTube videos. just about like D&D modules or like the latest book that's coming out. Maybe we'll just like do some cool builds and stuff like that and run it through like the DM's perspective, you know?
How often do your prices change? Well, that's the thing is, so far, I don't think we've changed the price on anything. The way it generally works is, I think as long as we don't change a composition at the factory, the prices are grandfathered in, is my understanding. So I don't think we've... The only times the price has changed on a pack, I think, is when we changed the Crooked Caverns pack. If the people who were here from a couple of years back remember the Crooked Caverns, that got changed into the Advanced Caverns core. But we changed the configuration there, so the price wasn't grandfathered in because it wasn't really the same thing. The factory was making a new thing. So I think the price of that pack technically went up, but it was also a different composition and stuff. But, let's see. Resin sets go up. The resin production was like another beast. It was a new person to Dwarven Forge. Seeing the compatibility for Wildlands also really helped encourage me to buy a lot of the builds of the month. Cross compatibility is a big thing. So the big thing with that, right, is we do a lot of compatibility videos during Kickstarters because we're trying to show how the new stuff that we're making is going to work with the old stuff, so that people who already have our stuff feel like they can
make it work,
use it. How much of that? This is something Ray and I were talking about. Is when we're kind of looking at the channel and we're thinking like, how do we make sure that what we're making is like evergreen content that can stay there? And so like looking at like the Kickstarter videos, if we can use those Kickstarters as a way to make content that is good beyond the Kickstarter, I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah, I agree.
You need an intro video that covers each of the core sets called Dwarven Forge. What should I buy first, buddy?
And we got good.
You almost got it like on the head. The title is a little bit different, but you pretty much nailed exactly what we're currently working on.
It's cooking.
Here's another thing. Wargamers in chat. Wargamers.
Hello, Wargamers.
So part of these new configurations that are coming in, we've got wargame sets coming in, and so we want to start making content to help let wargamers know how our stuff like functions. So there'll be basic stuff like like a wargaming in 60 seconds and that kind of stuff. Like we want to do like a 60 seconds video for each biome and like each kind of specific thing. For example, what content is going to be helpful for the people who know like wargaming stuff? What kind of content is going to be helpful in like convincing people that our terrain is going to be worth using, instead of just sticking with only using like Games Workshop or other companies? Because we think we know what some of the selling points are, like Dwarvenite, being able to get it pre-painted, because I don't think anybody does pre-painted wargaming terrain. Should focus on Kill Team, Outcry, the skirmish games from... I think it is a thing too. So I guess it's another thing. Do we need to do specifically different videos for skirmish versus like larger scale war games? Because I know like for Relic Blade, I've been told like we're really good for Relic Blade. Yes, 100% yes. Okay, so you think that it's worth it to... Greg OK says it too. Okay. So there are different enough audiences that we should be making different content for each.
Interesting.
Okay.
The world of wargaming is a mystery to me. So
Same.
This is very valuable knowledge that I'm sponging up right now.
I've done like a little bit of wargaming, but not nearly enough. Like Hamster is really the big wargamer in the company, and like
I wish he'd run a game. I want to know.
They streamed a couple during Wildlands.
We used to do a couple. It's just been hard to play during the pandemic mostly. Mm-hmm. You can do like remote D&D games pretty easily. Doing a remote war game is hard.
Yeah.
40K is going to be so difficult with Dwarven Forge with true line of sight. But is it impossible? You know? Mm-hmm. Will the first wave of Wildlands go out soon? Will you ever get the limited edition J Dungeon set again? No. Okay, so the limited edition stuff, we won't make again because so like that and like the marble, they were Kickstarter exclusive, and so all the Kickstarter exclusive stuff we want to like stick to our word. Like during the Kickstarter, we said that we wouldn't make it again. So we've talked about it at the company a couple times, and it's just the thing of like we don't want to like we want people to be able to like trust us when we say something.
Yeah, can't break the promise. That's the problem. But it's so cool.
Well, the first wave of Wildlands go out soon. We're hoping. We're very close to done with the first wave of production. It's just that question about getting on a ship.
Yup.
Like this thing we just went through with our restocks. Our last restock was fully made and sitting there waiting to get put on a boat for 2 months because shipping right now is very rough.
Yup.
Yeah.
So we can't guarantee that as soon as the Wildlands stuff is done that there'll actually be a boat for it.
Man.
But production is moving smoothly. I think we're close to having the first wave done.
I'm waiting on my Call of the Wild, man. I'm
Get
so
me
excited. I love Wildlands so much.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
It says show games being played and show line of sight blocking and different cover and movement effects.
Yeah.
Need to highlight the indestructibility, throw a whole bag off the roof, and then build something with it on the ground. That would be really funny.
Oh my god.
Oh, that'd be a really good bit.
Honestly?
Be a really good bit.
I think that'd be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Played competitive 40K. It's not impossible. It's just going to have a massive price tag. But is it going to be that much more expensive than other options? Because that's the thing. It's like when it comes to like the price tag thing, it's like people said. It's like the perception of us is that we're way more expensive than other people. I don't think that's true.
Especially unpainted.
That's one thing that happens a lot. Is a lot of times people will compare like our painted prices to people's unpainted prices, and it's like that's not really fair. Like you need to compare our unpainted to their unpainted.
True.
If you want to do it fairly.
True.
Let's see. There's an old video where One Piece gets run over by a truck and thrown off a water tower.
We can do more of that.
I've been dying to. That's actually on the docket of videos we've been wanting to make. I just want to like run over some Dwarvenite, throw it off a cliff, throw it in, get a weather balloon and put it in space and then make it come down. Like, actually,
send it to the moon.
True. Smuggle it onto a ship on NASA and like let it go up and just.
Air and Thor, both flavors will be good for Outdoor Game plus the Rune City stuff. Yeah, the drift stones, like
elevation,
the Wyver Stone stuff is going to be phenomenal for line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the painted price always in a larger font than the unpainted? Probably because man, I don't know.
That's a great question. Actually.
We don't.
Honestly, there probably is. I'm sure there's a reason behind it. It's so that it's more obvious that it's unpainted because sometimes we don't always have the unpainted versions of pieces. As a matter of fact, most of the times we don't when it's on the web store. So that's probably why you're seeing different font sizes to try and be like, this is unpainted. Please don't order it if you actually wanted painted.
See, my assumption was going to be that it's just because we sell more painted than unpainted. And so we're trying to make sure that price is the one people see first.
That's also true. I don't know. I don't know the numbers. I am simply a humble video man. I do not know.
Yeah, we don't have the graphics team here. Actually, is Janet still here?
Oh,
that'd be fun.
Let's pull out everyone. Everyone, come in.
This is the part where we spin plates on sticks without Chris, right?
Yes, I guess so. Start juggling.
Oh my god. We were talking about like whether or not we should bring in like a Jenga game in this space between, because you can't really see space-wise through like these squares, but like Casey's like 6 feet away from me this way, and we wanted a separate camera with like a Jenga tower in the middle of us, so you can like, watch us play a game as we answer questions about ourselves.
Just to keep it entertaining, and then once the Jenga tower fell, it could just really be loud for the chat. And everyone say, turn down the mic.
Everyone loves really loud sounds.
Yeah. Janet says that there's no like secret reason for it. It's mostly just that it's mostly what people buy. And it kind of helps like distinguish. So it's like actually it's hard to get them confused because they look different.
Interesting.
Answer
from the source.
There you go. I was half right, I think.
We love Janet.
Skirmish gamers are more than happy using cardboard terrain and paying GW all their money. With wargaming push that can be painted, a lot of army players don't want to spend time painting terrain. I think letting them know they have the option is nice because there are wargamers that I've seen that are super into painting their own stuff and like going like really overboard with it. So I think like saying like you've got the option to do that. You could also entirely skip the painting process, just slap it on the table. I think is a big thing to hit. I like the idea of playing a casual game of Dread. Dude, Dread is phenomenal.
I don't know Dread. What's
me about
Dread?
It's an RPG plus Jenga, basically.
Yes, wait, I have this. Oh, it's so cool,
That-
actually.
That loops in perfectly. Now you got our backs. We're gonna do Dread next.
Yes, I wish we could play
Great
some games on screen.
recommendation.
That'd be so fun. Dread's
once
first.
we can put everybody in a room and for hours and be okay with it.
I'll vouch for Dread to be first.
Yes.
Just because I think that's a great idea.
Dread is a lot of fun. There was a team Dread game that I wish I'd gotten to play in. Hearing like Hamster's character and all that. Yeah, man. It all seemed like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Point with font size just that if you're going to share costs and videos and want to focus on that it's not terribly expensive, it might be nice to draw more attention to the unpainted option. We don't talk about painted versus unpainted in these videos, I think just because we're trying to keep all the information just focused on how to
General.
understand the layout of the sets.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a
And,
good
like-
note, though.
in like the 60-second videos, we point out that it's painted and unpainted. So I guess we're hoping that the people that is relevant to will get it from those places, I guess.
Yeah. It's like, I think DFN 60 is like the second video on the new to Dwarven Forge playlist. So like, boop. And like, if you're powering through them like I usually do, I guess you'd see that there. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great question. That's a great point.
Maybe what we could even do is just... I wonder if there's a way to throw in like a tag in this video that just says like, by the way, if you like painting, you can actually, like all those prices would actually be cheaper if you got them unpainted.
It's a fun arts and crafts project for you and your players, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I think. Spend a day, pizzas and beers,
Yeah.
painted pieces,
So I think,
Nice.
yeah, we just have to figure out like if it's something that we...
you know?
Huh.
I think it's definitely... We should definitely harp on that, though. It's a great point.
Yeah.
I
Paint
like
videos
that.
should focus on painted. The how to paint videos can add notes, but unpainted is a cheaper option. I guess is the thing is does it distract from the goal of just helping new people understand the stuff to spend time talking about like alternate like
Paint
paint
schemes.
options and
Yeah.
stuff and like unpainted.
That's a good question.
Very curious. It's something to think about. Let's do our giveaway and the fan build real quick.
Yay!
And then we will jump back in.
You get a car. You get a car.
Yeah.
I wish.
What's,
No one's
what-
getting
what's,
cars.
What's a good
No cars.
You get a stick
What's a
and
good
no
giveaway word here?
tattoo.
What's that?
What's a good giveaway word here?
A giveaway word?
Yeah, we do our giveaways off of keywords.
Ah!
Ask the chat.
Rhubarb. That's too hard to
Rhubarb.
spell.
Rhubarb.
Oh, we've
Rhubarb.
done weirder stuff.
Rhubarb. We were talking about rhubarb pie and our favorite pies.
Yeah.
Casey said rhubarb. We like under breath while you were speaking.
Yeah,
Rhubarb and pecan pie.
I say
Should we do
pecan.
rhubarb or pecan pie?
That's like I had to think about it really hard. I was like, oh, is it pecan or pecan?
Pecan.
Oh, people are saying we should do tattoo.
Don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, as a
As the
word.
word,
Yeah,
not like
okay.
your
Not the
tattoo.
giveaway. Oh my god.
Giveaway.
Although somebody did say that if we hit $1 billion at a Kickstarter, you should tattoo me live on stream.
Oh.
Billy, I'll personally shake everyone's hands.
Tattoo or Jenga are what the chat is suggesting.
Jenga. I like Jenga.
Jenga?
Yeah.
Okay, the word is Jenga. Jenga. I just said it live. If you typed it in before this, type it again just to be safe. You will not be disqualified if you type it in multiple times. These giveaways are international. No matter where you live, you can win this giveaway. However, we can only give away physical product if you live in the U.S. So, if you live in the U.S., you can choose between a $50 gift card or a Basic Caverns core set. If you are international, we can only do the $50 Dwarven Forge web store gift card. So just type Jenga in chat if you want to get that. Let's take a look at the fan build. Did you guys know that every month we do a build challenge on the Discord? People vote. It's true. People vote on the theme, and just like a fun little friendly competition to give yourself kind of a limitation to build with. And I wanted to feature one of the builds from that I thought was very clever. This one is a build by Mize. This month's theme was Let me look up the exact phrase of this, like the Pits of Augustus
Fake
or something like
fan.
that.
Oh.
Fake fan. But yeah, the Pits of Augustus. I got it. Basically, making arenas, combat arenas.
Ooh.
So they made this lizard folk fighting den.
Yeah.
Casey loves lizard folk.
My favorite.
I really like the lizard folk set, but like I love the way the docks were used to like make a like a fence up there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good wall of thorns. They like mixed in castle pieces.
The folks in the Discord are crazy talented. This stuff is insane to me.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's like super creative because this is also like a small footprint. I also like that they put it on a swampy water
Oh.
terrain tray.
This reminds me of if anyone played Divinity 2, there's
I
a
need to
part
play
in
it.
the first act of that game. I don't even know. I don't know. It reminds me of something from that game. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yes. Yes.
Ugh. It's like so much variety in like elevation and in like just things to look at, and it's in such a tiny little space. Like it's really just packed with goodies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's a very clever build. I don't know. I'm always.
I'd play
It's
that.
always fun. Yeah.
So cool.
I'd be a lizard there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeffrey's saying good shout out Fort Joy.
Yeah. That's what
I
I
need
was
to-
thinking of.
I need to
I'm
play
pretty sure
Divinity.
There you
it's
go.
like after you escape from like the original prison area and then you go to the second part. It's been
I've
a
had-
minute since I played that game.
I've had Divinity installed for a while and I keep wanting to
So
start it.
good.
'Cause
It's
I've
one
been
of my
playing Baldur's Gate.
favorites.
It's the team that did Baldur's Gate 3, right?
Yeah, but Divinity 2 is better. Unless they fixed Baldur's Gate 3, but I haven't touched that
It's-
since it.
It's early access, so I'm not
originally
going to
came
be mean about it. You know,
Still
they're
early
working on
access.
it.
You
All right,
roast 'em.
well,
But
I guess we'll cross off working with them in the future.
Oops. No, Divinity 2 is great. Just,
Burn that bridge.
I'll wait for Baldur's Gate to not clip through everything.
I've been
It'll be
wanting
good.
to play it again because it's been I played it when it first launched and yeah, like they were having some stability issues and all that. I'm curious how much it's I'm curious because it's been months since I played it, so I'm
Yeah.
sure it's in a
Aye.
much better place.
I'm sure.
I do want to play Divinity though because I've heard really good things about it and I like their approach to making like playable RPGs. It's an interesting.
Dude, it's so much fun. You can
interesting
make your
system.
own builds in that game. It's incredible. It's very creative.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
I'll try it. I haven't tried it.
All right, let's go ahead and do this giveaway.
Yay!
63 eligible users. That's a very high percentage of people in chat.
I'll make it 64.
Good noise. All right, if it's 6 of clubs, and then it's just like, oh god, it was. You guys don't know because you don't watch it on the Anvil. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yep, I know that joke.
I'm a bad fan.
This whole having you be on the stream was just entrapment the whole way through.
You
All right, let's
know,
go.
it's just a hazing ritual.
AK Yeti,
Yay!
Hey,
what's up?
AK Yeti's won before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
AK
See,
Yeti
I watched stream.
AK
it was
Yeti
a
was
while
one of
ago.
the first giveaways.
Yes.
we did.
Okay, I was there for that one.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
made that too.
Yeah.
I think that's when you were actually like helping run camera on one of the the
I was
really
behind the
early
scenes. Yes.
pre-pandemic.
Yes.
Pre-pandemic.
Like, I
I'm so
remember.
bummed that I showed up to DF mid-pandemic. Like that was so weird. But anyway,
Yay! Congratulations,
Congratulations.
on winning
Congratulations,
again.
AK
I hope you enjoy. I hope you have a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, let me see. Right there, you are.
Super cool.
All right, I'm gonna whisper you, and we will get this thing figured out.
Sick.
Oh yeah, I've already got your email from the last time, so I'll just let's see.
Me and AK Yeti.
I'll just
Close
ask them which one
buds.
you want. Like,
Yeah.
That's so
I remember
Okay.
because the username's awesome.
That's a good
that's
username.
one that sticks in your head. I
You
feel
know?
like
There's some good
Yetis are
ones.
sick.
Yeah.
perfect.
You know?
Not as cool
Yetis
as
are pretty tight.
lizard folk, but
Do
you
you
know,
got-
Yetis
do you
are
got-
up there.
Man,
We talking cryptids? What-
I'm wondering if I'm gonna be aging myself too much here. Casey would probably still know this. Ray, I'm actually really curious to know if you know about this.
What?
You remember Ski Free?
Yeah, the one with you gotta go left and right, and then the Yeti will show up. And like at some point when I was older, I learned that there's a trick to go really fast and outrun the Yeti. And
Wait.
There's
can
a
actually,
trick.
You can actually win that?
Yes, you can win that. The Yeti doesn't have to kill you. There's like a boost button, and it's I don't want to say space bar, but like a really random button. Just press it, and you zoom ahead, and it doesn't kill you. You can just keep going. Yeah. Not only do I know it, but I know the secrets of it. My school had really old computers.
I wasn't on that part of the internet. I don't know.
Downloadable game.
Flash
It was one of those
game or
games that you
something.
just got
Just
on computers back then.
Yeah,
Oh.
like pinball.
Oh, I know pinball.
It's a good one.
Mine-
The
sweet.
Space Cadet pinball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved that.
Chips
But-
Challenge. Remember Chips Challenge?
Oh, I never did that one.
Wait,
no.
with the space guy?
No.
Nope. Okay. Nope.
Nope.
Don't
It
remember.
was a puzzle game.
Okay.
Alright, that's fair.
But anyway, I had Ski Free. Yeah, nailed it.
Ski free. Alright. Alright, so I'm feeling really good about the direction that we're going with like the educational videos on the channel.
Yeah.
Given that like everybody's been like, I wish you guys were doing this, and it's like,
We
cool.
are.
Wait a
We've
minute.
already shot that. So I think we're in a good place.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm hoping we can get it out to y'all soon. Working on next Kickstarter stuff. It's like timelines are all weird.
Yeah, we're juggling a lot of
It's-
different things at the moment. But
you know?
I think I don't know, it's making me very confident about our ability to read what people need.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
see.
Folks back home want to make sure they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing I'm wondering. Any beans?
Pinto. Lima.
Yeah, there we go.
those
Yeah.
Garbanzo.
Ooh. Good one.
Legumes.
I don't wanna drop anything.
You know?
Here,
If we do,
here's
it's like
what I'll say.
a laser will appear on our head and we're gonna get sniped. If we
In the
Yeah,
same
right.
in the same sense because Nate has already said this, in the same sense that we've never done this kind of thing for a Kickstarter before, we've also never done videos like this before.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
That's as good as it's gonna get, I think, you know?
We've got big plans and I'm very excited about them.
Yeah. And I hope you guys like them too. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's a very Casey has been bringing a lot of enthusiasm
A lot of soul.
and ideas to it, and I think it's gonna be
You know?
I think we're gonna make some really good stuff here. I'm really excited to like
As the
have it all pay
trifecta.
off.
Yeah.
What is the next Kickstarter? Have you thought of doing
Beans.
a BOM D&D stream or
Oh.
BOMD? Oh, a build of the month. Here's the thing. Ideally,
Yeah.
that's one of the things we wanted to do.
Yeah.
We would love to have
Sounds
actually
fun.
like we would love to have people come in and play through the build of the month after the build of the month is released.
Yeah.
But we're still in the pandemic. So it's
Yeah.
we were really hoping that things were going to get better to the point that like this summer we'd be able to start having people come in and just like get a bunch of people around the table and like play.
Mm-hmm. It was good for a minute.
No,
Things
really.
got weird again and like
Yeah, everybody was back in here for like one day,
That
and it
window?
almost felt back to normal, and then it was all
Yeah.
just round two.
It was like that
So-
window of June right after my birthday. Things were
Yeah.
looking real good.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we get so here's the thing. I want to produce like some of the coolest, highest production value like live play streams anybody's doing.
Yes.
But we can't do that until it's okay to have everybody in the same room.
So
Like right now, like we're all spaced out around the room to like still be
Mhm.
following, and like we're vaxxed up and everything, but like we're still like
keep it as safe, you know?
yeah, it's
Can never be too safe.
yeah.
You know, we're a tight team. We love all our coworkers. You know, want to make sure they're all good.
Vertex, yeah, I'll do this real quick. Explain the rework of the terrain trays. So one of the things that we're doing is we're reordering terrain trays, but we've kind of noticed. If you remember, like during Wildlands, there was a time when I think it was McGregor OK that pointed this out. Might have been Matt Roboticist. It was somebody who came in during Wildlands, noticed that if we simply swapped the B sides of two of the terrain trays we were offering, they would be a lot more like intercompatible and like modular. And it was like, yeah, that was it was like yeah, like you can this is something that we could apply to some of the designs we've done in the past as well. And so one of them was like for ice terrain trays, for example. We think it's less helpful to have like ice and then cracked ice on the other side, and then have like water and then like slightly
water.
different water on the other side. I can't remember like what the
Water
what the exact
tube.
thing is. It's more helpful if each of those has ice on one side and water on the other, because then with those two terrain trays, you can have like
A lot more.
two ice or two water at the same time, and like you're So we're looking at that. And it's like realizing that we could kind of do that. There's also. It's also been like kind of like revisiting some of the art and like can we make some of the stuff look a bit better. So yeah, it's basically just that. I don't know all the specifics, but yeah, that's basically what's going on with the terrain trays. Is we just like as we were going into this reorder, we were looking at it and it's like, can we make these? It's also like the packs that they were in were like Kickstarter packs, and so it's like, is there a way to do this better for the store? So I think there's some rearranging going on there as well that makes them like more store friendly. Because the way they were initially done was like about being good for the Kickstarter, but I don't know all the details about that. Any chance of adding grids to the older ones? We want to add grids. We're not doing it in this wave, but it is something that we are wanting to do moving forward.
Got the chat open here. Hi, chat. Look at yourself,
Nice.
chat. Anyway, carry on.
But yeah. Vertex might have said it as well. Yeah, I just remember like when that happened, because yeah, that was a really good catch. We were looking at it, it's like, yeah, why are we putting the two different river options on the same tray? If we're on different trays, then you can have a connected river. So, yeah. That's generally the thing. Is basically just we looked at it and we're like, can we make this art like actually more modular and function better? So when they come in, as soon as we actually have them to show you, we'll show you. Like it's good stuff. It's minor, but it's good stuff.
Hazel.
Do you have an update on the restock?
Hazel's got the hiccups.
Yes, Hoser. The restock is on the ship. Not only is the restock on the ship, the next restock is also on the same ship because it took that long for the first restock to get on a ship.
Double restock.
So,
Please be nice to customer service when the
Yes.
restocks come through.
yeah, the new configurations are basically on the ship as well, basically. If you look at the restock list on the store, everything that is listed as late summer and early fall is on that ship. And then the like late fall and winter restocks are not on that ship and will be coming in the future. So yeah, restocks are coming.
Whee!
Okay. Woo! Here's another thing I want to ask.
Oh. Hard-hitting questions.
Really happy to like throw that stuff off the wall. Content that isn't necessarily about our pieces.
Yes.
This is something, yeah, Ray's been really wanting to
Chomping
do
at
this.
the bit for it.
Be nice to customer service is always a good mantra, period, because they're people too whose job is literally to do their best to help you. Yeah, that's, I think it's,
And
Casey appreciates that a lot.
Yes,
I'm biased
and
because I
Chuck.
like a lot of our customer service people.
Yes.
But yeah, for sure.
I'm talking too much without any water.
Stay hydrated.
My water's in the other room.
Aw.
But, yeah. Restock PDF has been updated. It's now listed as early October and late November. Oh, perfect.
Good.
In that
Yay.
case, everything early October is on that ship, and late November. Cool. That makes it easier to read.
Awesome.
I didn't know when that change was going to go through. I think like yesterday it was still listed the other way, so I didn't realize it had changed.
Woohoo.
Where's my cider? I think Casey drank the last one.
No, well, there's one more in
There's
there.
one more?
I've been drinking this. I'm still on
Couldn't
one.
grab that. Okay.
So.
Cool. All right. Here's my question. How many of you have watched Descent into Doom? Yeah, I shouldn't actually. For those of you who don't know, Descent into Doom, for Dungeon of Doom, we made like a module that went with the whole thing.
Yep.
And we did, they at that time, they produced, I don't think none of us were here when this happened.
Mm-mm.
They produced and it was pretty well produced, an actual play of like playing through. I don't know if they played through the entirety of Dungeon of Doom, but they played through the part. I don't think they played through the whole thing, so it was only like a couple hours long.
Yeah, they played through a dungeon.
And yeah, Dungeon
Of
of
Doom.
Doom is Dungeon of Doom is a massive module, so I don't think it was the whole thing.
Yeah.
The claymation? No, not the claymation. This was an actual play show that was on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Several encounters. Okay, that's what I thought. So they didn't do the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember though. I guess this thing I was wondering is like if that would seeing actual plays be, is that something you're actually interested in, or is that something where you're looking at it, you're like, I mean, we're already getting it from so many other places, because like it's a really saturated market.
A lot of folks are doing it. 'Cause
But
it's
like,
fun.
but is it worth it to see it like done with like the Dwarven Forge modules? Because we make these modules. I think for a couple of reasons. I think one, it's just fun, and it's a creative thing, and a lot of the people here, a lot of people that work here are dungeon masters, are writers and creators in that respect. Well, obviously they're creators; they're making these pieces. So I think like the idea of like making an adventure is like just a very fun thing. Didn't a few groups of YouTubers play various encounters? Yeah, it wasn't just us. Venture Maidens did it. Dungeon Dudes did it. Thank you, Chuck, for linking it. I think we'd be better off just showing off builds from other popular actual plays. I'd say you do what brings you joy. I don't know if it'll make you more money or not. Perhaps it could. I guess it's like less about money. It's more like we're thinking about as far as like expanding our reach, right?
Yeah.
Currently, most of the videos that get made on our channel, on our YouTube channel, are not things that are going to drive organic traffic. Generally speaking, the videos that we put up there are informational videos for people who either have already bought our product or at the very least have heard of it and are looking for information about it. So what we're thinking is like, is there stuff that we could be doing to make YouTube the place where people find out about us? Resources we could be making. So like, one example of something we thought is, what if we did something where we took all the major encounters from, say, the Lost Mines of Fendelver, that intro 5th edition adventure, and we built them out in Dwarven Forge, and we do like DM tips for like running this thing, like stuff that you can do that would like make it interesting or exciting, that sort of thing. In my mind, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking like, this could bring in like people who are looking for like information about Lost Mines, right? It could get people who are just interested about this adventure, which is the most played adventure in 5th edition.
That is a fact. Statistically.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really fun. It should be a blast to do, Because it's something everyone knows and loves, and I feel like it would just drag in a bunch of folks who are just curious about just D&D in general. So I just think it'd be fun to broaden our reach and make some more friends,
So you using YouTube to drive YouTube, or are you looking to expand your outreach and stretch your resources to drive YouTube views? So it's basically, like, obviously, like, the thing that is, like, YouTube and, like, Twitch, like, sure, we've monetized Twitch. We're never going to make the money on Twitch to actually support this company. Getting like, affiliate and, like, stuff like that on Twitch was less about the income and more about getting the ability to do the emotes and, like, the other, like, stuff that we're allowed to do once we're an affiliate.
Yeah. The fun stuff.
And so that's the same with like YouTube. Like growing the YouTube channel, not for the sake of having a larger YouTube channel, but more for kind of using that to increase the size of the brand. Because then when we do a Kickstarter, that's more people who now hear about it, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. I just try and work with the Critical Role crew on doing a YouTube series on recreating their builds with Dwarven Forge. Oh, I don't think that's gonna happen. They're way too busy.
They're
at this point.
They're packed.
They've gotten. I think the ship has sailed on being able to do at least the way the thing's going now. They're super busy.
If you want some
we
fun
love that.
stuff,
We would love to be able to do that. I just don't think it's possible.
Deadliest Dungeon Designs.
So that's the thing is
that one.
So that's basically the thing. It's like we're looking at it as like, how can we? Obviously, like the end goal of this is going to be, the way that we are going to stay afloat as a company is selling terrain, because that is the thrust of our company. But I think that there's value in having the company itself kind of be more than that. Like having awareness and having eyes from people who, because we get basically only DMs here.
Yep.
I bet if you made a modular ship, you could get them in, make that ship sail back. What is that about?
To get the extra, the wildland stuff.
Yeah.
I'm picking it up.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. We got
Genius.
right.
Genius.
If thought about doing a vlog series a la Worm Life, we don't want to do something like that, really.
Yeah. And that's their bit. We're trying to figure out something that can get player eyes on us in a different kind of way. We don't want to like chomp their style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like I think it would make the team uncomfortable if we did something like that.
Oh yeah, because a lot of folks are not big on like cameras at all times, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like
and I think like the constant pressure of like, hey, we're gonna be putting something with your face in it out every week, I think would make a fair amount of people uncomfortable. We don't want to do that.
DMN Games makes a great.
It was for the Critical Role crew. You said that ship had sailed. Thank you, Topulus.
Nah.
Oh, okay. See, I'm thinking modular boat. We pick up the stuff from the factory and bring it.
Dude,
come on.
when the restock was like stranded with no boat, that's what I'm saying is like make a modular boat.
Duh.
Sail over
Get
there,
it.
pick up the pieces.
Just
Yeah.
go get it. It's fine.
Hex Technician has an interesting point. He says, I think if there's a way to capitalize further on Corridor Digital's upcoming web series with your terrain, you should take advantage of it. Whatever you end up wanting to do on YouTube, you need to at least announce it or push it around the time frame that Corridor series airs.
Agreed.
I think their stuff's airing soon.
It's coming out September. I've been keeping eyes on that.
I can't remember if it's September or October, but it's soon. I'm so excited about it. It's been something that's been like in the works for a while.
I was itching to talk about it. It's like, it's just cool.
Yeah.
Just a real fun thing.
Let's see. Very hyped for it. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. They're doing like really, and just getting to talk to Sam was just really, really cool. Like, super nice guy. It was also really weird because that was somebody I was watching like in high school. That was like the weirdest thing about it. Like, yeah, just like it's weird. It was just really, really weird. I'm very excited about it. Do more stop motion videos he's done to the Kickstarters.
I wish. They're so hard to make. I love them though.
Web series, a bunch of adventures going through dungeons. At the end, you can have a parts list. People get to see what things look like with minis on them. The Freddie Wong days. Oh,
that's old. That's when I was watching many moons ago. Yeah, that's fine. You're fine.
Let's see.
I don't know anything about Divinity, so you're set.
Team with Dungeon Dudes. Man, I would love to work with Dungeon Dudes on stuff.
We are the Dungeon Dudes.
I know we are working with them on stuff. They're writing one of the adventures for Wildlands.
Yeah, they're good folks. I like them.
Freddie Wong's on a podcast called Dungeon Daddies. Yeah, he is.
I love that.
Are Dungeon Daddies and Dungeons End Daddies two different things? Because isn't Anthony Birch also on?
That could be a confusion.
They're the same show, right?
It's the one where they're playing dads, right? Like they're all different flavors of dads.
Yeah.
Love that. Genius concept.
That's awesome.
It's sick. I don't tend to listen to many actual plays just because I'm really busy usually, but
You have some amazing sculptors. Can they sculpt miniatures as well? Yeah, we do miniatures in all of our campaigns.
Yeah, they're real cool.
Dungeons and Daddies sounds R-rated. Maybe.
I think they have a disclaimer at the beginning of their podcast, or maybe I'm
They
thinking about
do.
another one.
I'm
where
like
it's
90% sure they do. They're like, this isn't weird.
I think it would be cool to work with a bunch of people and like get like huge cameos, but
folks are busy.
But yeah, I think the main thing is like, what can we do with just us? Like, what kind of content?
Yeah.
Another thing we've been thinking is like doing things like, for example, when Wildlands stuff drops, if we did like primer videos on like the Feywild and Shadowfell,
Yeah.
and like here's like what these things are, and here's some interesting ways you can use it in your game. And meanwhile, like it's the content itself isn't immediately like here's product to buy, but we're using the Wildlands stuff to like illustrate it, and at the end we're like, if you want, like if you like the terrain in this video and you want to be able to make like stuff like this yourself, like
the
available
link
in the store here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But have like the video have value outside of our pieces, right? Like there's a value in it. People are asking for merch.
I want
Yeah.
merch super bad. I am well with you there. I think it'd be really cool.
You need videos for how to thank your DM and suggest buying Dwarven Forge terrain? Thank you, Finley. That's most people who use Dwarven Forge are the DMs who build for the players, so get the players to buy them more. Maybe a Dwarven Forge supported thank your DM day with gifts and such.
I love that, actually.
Yo, yeah.
Like a DM Father's Day special, like it's like, thank your DM.
That could be cute.
I think it's adorable.
Yeah.
Build competitions like Building Time by Stampy Longnose. So, you know those build jams that we would do with Toby and Tyler?
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard. Yeah.
The initial plan for that was to be a show that we would do that could then be cut down into content for YouTube and stuff. And it was supposed to be like a thing where we'd be bringing in like guests and all that, but the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I do want to do stuff like that. I think it'd be a lot of fun to do something like that. It's Dwarven Forge merch. I want a T-shirt with Dead Sight on back. That's very good. It's very clever.
That's cute.
While you're going for his reach, I agree with the previous suggestion above. Short form content is your best bet to reach a larger audience. We all know how short the average net watcher's attention span is. But okay, so when you say short, what do you mean by short? Because I mean like
Like
you
a
look at like
TikTok?
Because you look at like Dungeon Dudes. Like Dungeon Dudes have like grown their channel pretty large, off of doing 20-minute informational videos like regularly, and and none of it's like high production value either. Like it's them sitting in front of a webcam basically.
Yeah.
Or not a webcam. It's a nicer camera than a webcam. But like, so is there value in just like, and we'd be higher production because we're trying to show off the terrain, and so we would probably make it more complicated than it needs to be. But like, you mentioned increasing the brand recognition of Dwarven Forge. What is your target audience?
Working on it.
I guess I would say the biggest thing is people who are passionate about RPGs.
That's really
but
it.
haven't like. Well, the big thing is like, I feel like if people are really into terrain, they know who we are basically.
Like, I played so much like TTRPGs in general for a long time, and it wasn't till I saw this job offer I was like, oh, game terrain, that's pretty cool, I guess. Like I only know like whiteboard grid maps, so nabbing those folks would be cool. You know?
Night Rabbit, thanks for coming.
Aw, night.
Your audience is DMs and game masters. True. That's like the thing though, is like, I feel like
maybe not for
already. I feel like if people are like into terrain for a bit already, I feel like they know who we are.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we're talking about who are we missing, it's people who might want terrain in the future, but haven't gotten into it yet. And so that's what I'm wondering is like, so how do we hit those people who just don't know about us?
Yeah. Like we reel them in with a fun video just about general TTRPG topics, and they're like, oh, pretty cool looking terrain, and they bought Wildlands Untamed. Like, you know?
It'd be a lot.
It'd be a lot.
Yeah.
That's a very big leap.
Cool, though.
And then wargamers. A big part of that is like we're making, with these reconfigurations coming in, we are now making sets that are specifically for wargaming, which I think is going to be a big thing. Let's see. Parents and younger children have videos of parents and kids playing with the terrain using miniatures and Legos, theater of the mind, and just child-parent bonding.
Nate has been talking about that a lot.
Yeah, that's like a thing, like,
yeah,
because it's one of the things, like, as far as like terrain goes, your kids aren't going to break our stuff. I'd like to see them try,
you know,
unless you give your kid like the bandsaw, like.
Well, then there's another issue.
There's a separate problem to address there.
I feel like if your kid's got the saw, your terrain isn't the real problem. You know. You're also missing RPG people that want to set up a diorama on their mantle.
Yeah. You know?
I wonder if we could do like targeted photo ads that are just like a nice display like that. Watched Critical Role for years before I realized Dwarven Forge terrain being as accessible as it is. Fascinating.
Huh.
A lot of players will likely end up DMing at some point. Right, so that's what I mean, is like, I think there's value in making stuff that will get the attention of people who maybe aren't currently DMs who will be using terrain.
Yeah.
Because then if they have an awareness of us, and if we're doing stuff that they're into, you know, if we're making content that is cool and like helping them like with like some cool ideas for their games or something, or just making stuff that they find entertaining, then I think that's making us kind of their, like, it's kind of, if they come to us for that kind of stuff, then maybe it gets them thinking about terrain, because now it's like you're watching our stuff, so like you're seeing the terrain and all that jazz.
Yeah, I agree.
You could aim on painted sets at diorama builders, having set pieces that they can paint and create great visuals. That is fair. Nate's kids have drills. All right. The Taylor household is
it's an outlier.
They're all player characters. We're NPCs. They're too strong.
we can't build our business plan around an anomaly.
Night, Ravenkin.
Night, thanks for coming. Let's see. But yeah, the whole thing of playing with kids, we've thought about like doing ads like that, because there's a lot of people who build with their kids, even on the Discord. On the Discord, people post like their kids building stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's my favorite.
So many people like they get like a big order in, and they're like, oh, here's the boxes, and then like a half hour later, it's like, all right, well the kids took the pieces, and the kids are going nuts.
Makes me wish my parents were into DF. That'd have been insane.
Yeah, I think it's the thing is like Nate's kids don't really have an appreciation for the fact that like their games involve like these massive Dwarven Forge builds made by somebody who has been using this stuff for a long time. Like and has access to like all of it. They have no appreciation for that because that's just like
that's standard.
This is what they expect. Yeah.
Like they never had to plan a napkin with a pen and the same set of dice we all share. I've had to do that. That's
yeah. Live play, but it's only kids.
Oh my god!
Imagine that would be a really fun thing to do at some point. Produce like a live play, but
like a kid DM. Like they're all like 7 years old, 5 years old, or something. And it's like
I don't know if we would do a kid DM. It might be a thing where we just get like a professional DM, whether it's Nate or like getting like a celebrity or something to do it, who's like really good with kids. Let's get Jack Black to run a game.
I agree.
That would be so
My
cute.
next point was, what if it was a kid DMing and all adult players?
that would be really funny.
We can do both.
Yes, I love it.
We'll flip the script.
I love it. And Jack Black has to be in all of them, though. I love Jack Black. Shout out to Jack Black. I hope you're watching this. Oh, man. Oh, that's so funny.
That would be really funny. And just get like adults that are taking it way too seriously.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny.
That could be a phenomenal. And we'd keep them like maybe hour-long games tops.
Yeah, they're quick little bites.
Something that we could like edit down as well. That'd be wild. Oh, that'd be so much fun to do. Mm-hmm. Like when the pandemic's over and we can go like, hey, send your kids into this enclosed room for did not mean it.
Okay,
not
maybe
like,
you don't put out the...
I'm just talking about like we don't want to spread because kids can't get vaccinated.
That is
true. Like, that's what I'm. It's not.
We'll get middle schoolers and like upwards to DM. Like they can get it. They're cool.
I don't know. I feel like the appeal is like in having them be like
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I worked with kids a lot and like little kids, they're just the funniest. They are like pure, unabashed, unfiltered creativity. Yeah. It's so fun. Like
it's the thing that we try to get to when we play, right? It's like that complete lack of like shame about like whether your idea is going to be stupid or whatever. Like it's just like committing to like what sounds fun.
Just pouring out. They're so cool. I envy that power.
It'd be a really fun thing.
Yeah.
Gilded Poison says, not related to the kids talk. As someone who is newer to terrain within the last year, the biggest reason I hadn't gotten into it before was because it was hard to afford it while in college or just out of college. Build of the months were appreciated because it showed a way to dip the feet in without breaking bank. Showing cost-effective methods of building could be really helpful for those who haven't jumped in because it feels out of reach. I really feel like where we're going with these videos is a good
Gilded, you and I, same page, buddy. Totally feel you. I completely agree. So hopefully you'll like some of the stuff we're going to be putting out soon because I think it'll scratch that itch for you.
Let's see. You could aim Dwarven Forge at creative individuals. A lot of the big videos are of artists creating resin art piece dioramas. Show unpainted pieces being transformed into static, permanent diorama pieces. It also gets the spirit of Dwarven Forge, but you're targeting a new audience. I think we might have some stuff in the works that kind of hits that.
Yeah, I hope so at least.
We're trying to...
Gotta check. We have like a big Excel spreadsheet of ideas. Top secret, hush hush.
Yes. Yeah, I can't get over this idea of like, as soon as like things are safe enough for us to do something like this, of just doing like a kids game.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a lot of fun. And then like, and you know, like shooting it well, we'd want to do it like once we've got... I mean, like by the time we'd be able to do this, we would have the media set up for it.
Oh,
but like,
so
but and then you could edit that down into we could make such weird commercials out of it. It'd be so fun.
For initiative, like I can hear it already. It's just fun.
It sounds like, oh man, that'd be wild.
You know? I picture them starting off like all like adults sitting down at the table in this epic like gear ready to go for like LARP or something, and then it like poofs into like a bunch of kids at the table. Like those are the characters they think they are.
Aww.
You could in the kid DM, but he's dressed like he's like in the costume of like that classic DM, like the bald cap and the the red red cloak.
Yeah.
but he's like 8.
A balding 8-year-old, the poor thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Half the pleasure is just looking at the build when it's finished, so the art thing isn't a bad idea. See, my concern is that I feel like a lot of times we've leaned so hard into the like, here's a huge, impressive, like cool looking like build where it's like, oh, that looks phenomenal. And that is what has made it seem so inaccessible, because then you like look for those and it's like, oh, that's really spendy, or like there's not a way to actually like buy that thing particularly. Yeah.
It's fun to look at, though. I love that stuff.
Night, AK Yeti. Thanks for... All right, perfect. Yeah, I've got your email, so I'll send you the gift card tonight. Let's see. When things open up, you guys need to run an epic at ForgeCon. We just need to actually... We are in no way a large enough company to do our own convention, but we keep talking about it like we're going to do it.
It'd be so fun.
We are not large enough to do this. I'm saying, Reaper can do ReaperCon. Reaper is so much bigger than us.
Oh,
they can do a convention.
Oh yeah.
Like Penny Arcade, they do PAX. Sure.
We could
We're
rent out a
nowhere
hall.
near that size.
We could rent out a hall under a community center.
An Airbnb, everyone.
We're not large enough to do this.
Well, order 3 pizzas. That'll be enough for everybody.
That week-long streaming rampage. I think that's genuinely the most we could do. I think that was exhausting. It was a lot of fun. It was exhausting.
I want to do more of that. I want to get in on those streams. Streams are fun.
I think that if we were somewhere less expensive for people to go to than New York, maybe. But I couldn't ask people to come up to Brooklyn for a ForgeCon with 30 people and go pay for a hotel, go pay New York prices and be in New York for a week.
We can meet out in a field.
Yeah,
we'll all lark.
Central Park meetup.
Yeah.
We don't actually rent a space.
No, we're just sitting in a public area.
Just meet at this location.
ForgeCon could be a card table in your parking lot. We'd be happy. We're just playing Magic. It's not even anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
RPG
that sounds awesome, though.
We've gone so far off the rails here.
Oh, so we have fun here, guys. Yeah. We have fun here.
We probably should start wrapping up soon, unless we actually have anything to actually say. I'm enjoying this though.
Other than thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
That's like International Airport.
You know.
I know everybody in chat is saying that they'd come up and it'd be fun, and I'm sure. Man, I don't want you guys to come up here and have just the worst, most boring time of your life.
What you could just do a tailgate or something
Just tailgate?
Yeah.
Have everyone travel to New York for
in a parking lot? Everyone just chill by the car.
Just to eat some burgers in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Or drinks,
It's what the people want.
Drinks and escarpments.
Yeah.
Classic.
Get these two on the hobby hang. Ray's been on the hobby hang a couple times.
Twice. Literally a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
I'm very deliberate with my word choice.
When Wildlands comes in and I get my literally 75 basilisks that I ordered, I will be on hobby hang.
Oh, you and me both. I got the entire forest unpainted. I'm going to be here every hobby hang.
You'd have focus on core sets, games which around them. Yeah, so these videos are pointing people towards the core sets and then showing how you use those as a starting point. And I think basically the Caverns video, it's basically start off, here's each core set and 2 builds with each of the basic core sets. Here's throwing the advanced core set into the mix to see how you can do different shapes now, because the advanced core set is about being able to offset builds and build at angles. And then it's here's some sample builds. Here's a build from Lost Mines of Phandelver using this stuff. And then here's some builds with negative space. That's just a core and a banks pack and a terrain tray. And then adding some stuff to it and just kind of showing how the biggest thing is we're trying to get people to understand that you just buy things incrementally. Yeah. And you don't have to drop thousands of dollars. Does the Dwarven Forge roof have space for tents? Oh, it does. It does.
It's got room for 6 tents.
6 tents, if you're really giving it a little space, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's a big roof.
It's a big roof.
Balls for the ball pit.
Yes, let's get a ForgeCon ball pit.
You shouldn't have to look for core sets. You should land on them at the front of the website. I think that's part of what we're planning to do. The problem is that we need the rest of the core sets to come in for us to be able to do the whole layout that we want to.
It's very gradual.
We're prioritizing them for the Caverns page right now because we have the cores in for that. And same with Dungeon. The stuff that we consider core Dungeon sets are listed at the top. But as the rest of this, it might actually happen when these new configurations come in. Because when these new configurations come in, then we'll have the core sets for the 3 main biomes, which is Dungeons, Caverns, and Cities. Because I know it's a thing where the website is constantly like changing. Joanna's been like working on it, but she's having to like step things out in waves basically as we get stuff ready for it. Like these videos we're working on right now are then going to have a home on the site in specific places.
Yeah.
The Dungeon of Doom / Caverns Deep format made it clear that you only need to buy things incrementally. As was clear, each one was its own thing to start, and you combine to make more. Yeah, and I wish that we were able to actually stock Dungeon of Doom and Caverns Deep that way, in a way that like that you could get like the whole, because that's the unfortunate thing is like, particularly with Caverns Deep, getting the stuff to actually be able to make that entire module is very difficult because of the way that the molds wound up. Speaking of changing, the shop tab just got an overhaul recently, images and everything. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
When did that change happen?
2 seconds ago.
No, I think it was earlier this week.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Yes, that's what I mean. Is like we are the store, like the site has changed and it's come a long way, and it's been doing like phenomenal. People have been like giving really good feedback, which is great. We're still not exactly where we want to be with it. We have to kind of slowly roll out all these changes. Also, you need to be able to look at a build on the builds page and then click on buy now and get all the parts into your cart. That's the bundling system, which is another thing we want to start utilizing more. It's just...
That's handy.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff.
Okay, let me ask you this one more thing. As we're doing sample builds for these videos, do you think it adds a lot of value to have these bundles available? You know, to have things that are basically build of the month size, and maybe they might not have a gift card and they might not have a discount. I'm not entirely sure if we'll be able to do that, but to have essentially permanent bundles that are like 2 or 3 packs, and it's just about to have like a kind of a thing to look at. Like, if you get these things, here's like this build you can make with it. For the newer people, does that seem helpful to you? Like, would that make things more clear, or would that make it like confusing to have the core sets and then also have that? Like, would that make it a thing where it's like, which am I supposed to start with?
I'm confused, so maybe that.
I probably didn't word that right. Every build you make should be available for people to buy, every single one. Don't know that we can do that.
That'd be sick, though.
That'd be sick. I don't know if we can do that.
I like where you're...
Largely because a lot of things that Nate builds are random combinations of pieces that are not...
Yeah, he just has like a bucket of pieces. He'll just come in and just like, it'll just fall out of his mind and it just happens.
Yes and no. I want small enough to add to a collection, but
goes
again,
like this, they fall out of his ear.
Yeah.
I'd be into that. When I started buying, I sort of wished what I wish I could buy. So you do wish that there were... Say if there were builds that were like around $300 that were bundles of existing sets that you could buy individually if you wanted to. Seriously, stop building things people can't buy. Don't do that. It's terrible. I don't think we're going to be able to... Because that's also part of the appeal, right? Like, is once you've got the collection, you can build like a lot of random things. And so being able to just grab a piece from there. I think the way that we show it off is something to think about. Mm-hmm. Spend no more than $150 a month. Okay, so that's where the core sets would come in, right?
Perfect.
Like core sets, $150 a month. Like, I think the Caverns Core Mega is $219, but then like the regular Caverns Core is $130 something, I think. And I mean every month. Okay. So that's the thing. Yeah, like different ways to buy. I guess I'm just wondering, like, particularly if people who like are getting their first build, if it's like, does it feel safer, I guess, to have like a full bundle as opposed to a core set? Mm-hmm. Bundles are a good idea with multiple builds, showing off what you can make with a bundle. Fair. Wanted to have variety for my small budget at first. Okay. Builds we can't build, feed the FOMO. The reality is, particularly when you're building with caverns and some stuff, that we just can't keep restocked. Like, I don't know. It is a thing of like, do we just pretend this thing doesn't exist now?
That's the bummer.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the question is painted versus unpainted. Your unpainted crowd will buy less at once. Guess that's also fair, considering you've got to paint all that stuff. Hype restocks, make us hungry for whatever is left over we could buy. Yeah, hyping restocks is the thing we absolutely want to do.
For sure.
Particularly this one coming in, because that's going to have all the new configurations.
That's double restock. 2
Okay.
restocks combined.
If you can't stock it, don't build with it.
It's hard.
Sorry, we simply can't. Like we can't avoid doing that.
Yeah.
It's in at least some respect. Like we're trying to be better about it, obviously, and in the future, what we want to do is be able to restock everything.
Yeah.
But I think if we avoid, I don't think we can just avoid using things that are out of stock.
We try to shy away.
Yeah.
But we never like.
It also helps us like figure out what we need to prioritize, like finding a way to get in stock as well.
True.
Like the docks restocking craze came off of a sample build in Wildlands, where docks hadn't been in stock for a while, and then Toby made the sample build using docks in Wildlands, and everybody's like, "Oh, I want to be able to do that," and so I was like, "Okay, we need to get these back." And at the same time, like seeing like the pieces that people want that like they aren't able to get, like helps us inform like, okay, we need to come up with a new configuration that'll let us like get this in here. I've seen a mark like 50% of the website is out of print. Yeah, we are actually finally retiring sets.
Yeah.
Is another exciting thing.
You nailed it.
It's something we've been talking about for a while, but it's a thing like Jay was saying about. He's like, well, I don't want to say that we'll never make it again, and it's like, look. Some of these we are never going to make again, and we need to like just actually like pull the plug on it.
What if we branded it like how remember like with Disney releases they send them in a
the
Disney vault? We're sending them to the Dwarven Mines. Who knows if they'll come back? I hope they come back. That's a little dark, but like
They're not coming back.
They'll never make it out of mines.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish.
So yeah, it's definitely one of the things we're really trying to do is like we have so many sets that are taking up space on the storefront that we do not need.
Yeah.
And so we're finally getting like some of those retired and like starting to take them off and trimming it down. You need a painting video with the assembly line process for painting a whole set. That could be interesting. Like tips for. Somebody said earlier, like doing like painting tutorials that weren't specifically about like painting specific pieces, but just like here's just like general painting advice could be interesting. Like the idea of like maybe doing a video that's like how to batch paint terrain would be interesting. Like what's the most efficient way to, and and it'd be helpful for our stuff, but it's also helpful like outside of it. It's just like generally good advice. Certainly counts castle isn't one of them. What? Oh, that we'd be restocking?
The toughies.
A lot of the castle stuff is hard.
And it's
Castles-
so pretty.
Castles is in such a rough spot. Like, I'm hoping the Watchtower will help.
Fingers crossed.
Let's see.
I love me some castles.
Have Hamster build a set with available unpainted pieces, then show him airbrushing/spray painting the pieces to be presentable. Lets people know that DF can be very affordable, doesn't require a lot of painting skill to have something tabletop ready.
Yeah.
We could do a thing that's like kind of like a cooking channel sort of thing, where we basically like say like this is how long like prep time for the.
It's not too far from Joy of Dwarven Painting. It's in a similar vein, at least. I do like them, though. I think that'd be fun. Cooking channel style. Put them in an apron. I think hamster in a little apron would be fun.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Is there any questions you guys have? Both Ray and Casey as well as
us.
Yeah.
Us.
So I'm gonna
None
start.
that I could think of. I feel like it's just been fun being able to just chat candidly with the crowd,
Yeah.
I like to hear how you guys are feeling because, it's like I'm inside, but I'm also a fan too, so it's just cool to like stay on the pulse and know what the people are looking for.
Would love more Joy of Dwarven Painting.
Yeah.
There's more of that coming.
We're working, especially I want to do it for Wildlands. I just recently talked about that in a comment some person left on the Wildlands Kickstarter. I just mentioned like, hey, want to do that. That'd be awesome. So, work in progress.
Trying to think what else. You just be on the Discord more, Ray.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. I just got to keep it open. I have like my 2 editing monitors. One has to be the DF Discord, and the other is actual work, sadly.
Get a third monitor.
It'll be vertical for Discord.
Yeah.
You're right.
Dude, people do that. It's great.
I love that. It's such a genius idea.
Yeah. Question, can you announce that you're offering a Burroughs build of the month right now? With what sets?
I wish.
We just have the Kree colony. We'd have to do like 2 Kree colonies to do a build of the month, which is not good.
When's the sequel to Psychotronic Dungeon? Come on.
Man. Burrows needs some love too.
I agree.
We've been talking about it. I really hope it.
Hmm.
Always happy to have more people in Discord. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said it. It's live. We're selling it right now.
Clip it, guys.
Went painted for Wildlands, but normally go unpainted as the taxes go up based on cost of the item. So the tax cost increase for painted over unpainted is fairly significant. Yeah, and EU shipping in general is just such a huge pain.
Oh, it's a nightmare. I feel
If
bad
I could,
for
I'd
everyone.
I'd bring it across the pond to you if I could. Also, because I want to see Europe. Shout out to all of
We
Europeans
like
out there.
honestly, when people have shipping issues internationally in the EU, like we feel really bad because it's, I don't know, just everything with the regulations that have changed. It's frustrating for us and for you guys, and it sucks. But
It's not fun on either end of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
We gotta open up a DFEU branch.
I
wish. This is all
yeah,
very
we wish. We really wish we
impossible.
could.
If it were
We're not
financially
there.
feasible,
Yeah.
we would. If we are able to massively grow our EU user base, it'd be financially feasible. However, it'd be way easier to grow our EU user base if we had an
Better
EU
shipping.
location.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a rough
catch-22.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wasn't Burrows the worst selling? Burrows kind of got shafted a bit. It was barely touched on in like the Kickstarter it was in, and I think we didn't showcase it very well, and a lot of people just don't know what it can do. And the set compositions aren't great. There's not a lot. We don't have a lot of support out there for Burrows, which I think is unfortunate. I think it's a very, very cool environment, but because we didn't support it well, it didn't sell well. And because it didn't sell well, it's hard to get approved to do more for
It's
it.
a vicious cycle,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Same Burrows build of the month as before. The sets are in stock. What were the sets? For the Psychotronic Mushroom Cave?
Hey, Hazel, stop. That's
That was the
weird.
Burrows build of the month, right? Was the Psychotronic?
Yes. Those I've seen.
It was like a Kree colony. I can't remember. It's been a while. I'll look at it.
I thought it was Kree Colony and some cavern stuff. I don't even remember anymore.
Did we mix it with other biomes?
I want to think that we did. It's a little hazy now.
Do Burrows expansions like Plaguestone offer a pre-order? Unfortunately, Plaguestone didn't do well either. Also because we didn't support it very well, though. I
Shout
don't
out to
think.
Pathfinder 2E, though.
Which is wild. If you look at the Plaguestone sets, honestly,
They're really
like
good.
all the Plaguestone sets are like really good starter
Yeah.
sets.
criminally
They
underrated.
seriously are. When I think about starting people off with DF when they ask like where to go, those sets, literally it's all there, and
Yeah.
it's like one of the cheapest options to get such a wide variety. So
Like like when if we're talking about like for newer customers, like it feels more comfortable to them to be able to buy like a thing that it feels like a whole thing. It's like
Yeah.
genuinely the Plaguestone encounters are that.
So good.
But like they got caught in this weird like limbo of they weren't advertised very well. They have Plaguestone attached, so like I think some people don't look at them because they're like, oh well, I don't play Pathfinder, or I don't know what Plaguestone is, and they're like, or they don't like understand what it is exactly because of the Plaguestone thing.
it's a really cool adventure, though.
And then like a lot of people who have a lot of Dwarven Forge, what they did was they got like the packs of stuff that was just the new sculpts. So like the main encounters like didn't sell. We have so many of them in stock, and they're really good encounters.
go get them.
Yeah.
Great. I cannot recommend them enough. And also go play Plaguestone. And also just play Pathfinder 2E. It's a good game.
Ray is our resident Pathfinder guy.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
harp on and on for it. I think it's a lovely system. It's just so fun.
Okay, so it was Kree Colony plus Painted Burrows Elevation and Stilts. Kree Colony, Elevation, Stilts. Right, it was just a Kree Colony, but you added like the elevation options basically. Missed the Plaguestone pre-order, but once I discovered it, I was all over it.
Yeah.
Plaguestone's really good. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's
That's the moral of today's stream, is that Plaguestone is really good.
more Hazel streams, please.
Hazel
Casey
will
starts
be
coming on
around.
the hobby hang.
We'll
Yeah.
make it's just a 2-hour stream of just Hazel in
Yeah.
a room.
I'll
That's
paint
it.
her nails.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. I think we should wrap it up. Thank
Yeah.
you for the feedback. I'm actually.
And it's over, everyone.
Hazel knocked over my water bottle and it freaked her out.
Yeah, she's a little scaredy cat
Yeah,
sometimes.
she's very scared.
But I do really appreciate hearing what all y'all have to say. It means a lot to us. I think I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
That's just feel good. Like a lot of times, people who are like behind the camera on stuff don't really get noticed. So it's nice to.
You know.
Just let people know, especially in the case. Just like so many people are like, "Oh wait, no, I know Casey. She's saved my life with
I
like,
saved you from a burning house at some point. No.
Yeah. Dwarven Forge customer service really does go above and beyond. Like
they do.
We try.
Putting out burning buildings.
Chuck gave me a kidney.
True. Yeah.
He probably would. Honestly, Chuck is that kind of guy.
He's a stand-up guy. I like.
Speaking of which, Chuck has been watching the whole time. Chuck, very excited to see you this weekend.
Dude, yes!
Yay.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited.
Yeah. People just giving love for the Plague Stone sets. They're really good sets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Dude, I'm so excited for the Cinnamon Rules.
I fucking agree.
I'm so excited.
My
All
whole day is hinging on that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you for the feedback, guys. Like, some good stuff here. I'm hoping we're gonna have some stuff to show you very soon. I'm feeling confident. Got a couple of new ideas and like nice little like replenished like confidence in some of the older ideas we had.
Yeah, it's great to get like just an outside perspective.
It's great to hear. I wish you guys were doing this and go like, oh, cool, we are. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Or good morning.
It's good night.
Good.
Depending where they are, we don't know. What if there's someone in Australia? Anyway.
Australians.
Wait. What?
Bye.